Hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss about hysterosalpingography. So very basic concept is, what is the name? Hystero, that means uterus. Salpingo, that means fallopian tubes. Graphy means we take a picture of that. It is basically a contrast X-ray study. What we do in this thing, we just inject a radio opaque dye into a space. Which is that space? Uterine cavity connected to the fallopian tube. So, and then we do the X-ray of that part, 2D X-ray. So the dye is in a fluid form. It will spread across the cavity available to it. So we can see the cavity size and shape in 2D. What we can't see is the uterus, its wall, any mass outside the uterus. Only we can see is the cavity. That means subserosal mass, which can be a fibroid, cannot be seen, because the subserosal fibroid is not inside the cavity. That's why it's not seen. But submucosal mass seen in the SHG. Why? Because this lesion is obstructing the uterine cavity. Anything that obstructing the uterine cavity can be seen. The dye passes through the fallopian tube, so we can see whether the tubes are open or not. If it's open, then the dye can pass in the tube. If the tubes are open, then we can see the linear cavity of tubes also. Free fluid spillage into the peritoneal cavity can also be seen. Okay, so now let's see what is the procedure. What is the time of doing HSG? First 1 to 10 days is the very good time to assess the HSG. Initially 1 to 5 days is off for menstruation, so we should try to avoid HSG in this time period. But after this, once the menses is over, then we have a very good time for assessment. Why we don't do after 10 days? Because there is a chance of pregnancy, and we don't take any chance of damaging the pregnancy. So you can now see that what we analyze is a follicular phase cavity only. We cannot analyze the another phase. Only we can analyze the follicular phase. Luteal phase cannot be analyzed. Now how to do this procedure? Then we have a HSG cannula, also called Cohen's cannula. It's look like this. This is the cannula. This part is a rotatory part which gets inserted into the cervix. We make the patient to sleep in the supine lithotomy position. We visualize the cervix. We insert this cannula. We then inject the dye. Dye is a water soluble ionated dye. Then we take multiple X-ray pictures in AP view of the pelvis. Generally 4 images are taken. First image is for filling of uterine cavity. The second is that the dye enter the tubes through cornu, so we can rule out that the cornus are open. Third is filling of the tube, that means we can see the tube cavity. And the fourth is free spillage of the abdominal cavity. So the other end of the tube, that is fimbrial end, should be also analyzed, because if it is open, then only the free fluid can pass through the cavity, abdominal cavity. Okay, so these 4 things we do, so we need 4 different images. So this is a graphical presentation. This is the cannula is inserted into the uterine cavity. Now this black parts in here, we can see this uterine cavity, then this the tube, then the fimbrial end of the tube, the cornu end, fimbrial end, everything we can see. Free spillage of the tube also we can see. If you see this side, then there is an obstruction at this level, that is cornual obstruction. So further we cannot see any part of the tube. This is a normal HSG. You can see here, this is the uterine cavity. This is the now you want to see how uterus exactly look. Uterus exactly look like this. But what we can see is only the cavity. So the cavity is seen, the tube cavity is also seen. The tube is tortuous, as everybody knows, and this scene is a free spillage of dye. That means the tube cavity is okay, uterine cavity is okay, seeing we are okay with this cavity. The tube are seen, bilateral tubes are seen, and free spillage is also seen. So this is a normal HSG. Now let's see about what pathologies can be done. So the very important aspect for HSG is to rule out the uterine anomalies. If you haven't read this uterine anomaly, you can see the previous video on the uterine anomalies, so that you can have an idea how the mesonephric duct or Mullerian, the paramesonephric duct or Mullerian duct becomes, and the development of the uterus, and there is a deformity of many developmental difficulties. So you can see the different diagnosis. Here what we see is only the HSG part of thing. This is a didelphys uterus. If you want to see the didelphys uterus on HSG, then you can concentrate on this thing, that the didelphys uterus means we have two separate uterine cavity, two separate tubes, two separate cervixes, and two separate vaginas. This is called didelphys uterus. So you can see two different cannulas are here. So if you want to cannulate if you want to do the HSG of didelphys uterus, then you need two different cannulas. You can see both side of unilateral cavities are seen. This is the cervix and this is the uterine cavity. This is the internal os, this is the external os, this is the internal os, this is the cervical cavity. Okay, now here is a tube also. You can see the tube here is also going into the tube. So basically what it is a didelphys uterus. Very easy to identify. You can see two cannula. This is didelphys uterus. Now this is the unicornuate uterus, in which the single cannula is there only. This is a single cannula, and this is the cervical cavity, then this is the uterine cavity. So this is how the uterus should be there. So only one side of the cavity is seen. Here we can't see a cavity, so it is a unicornuate uterus. Now let's see what is a bicornuate uterus looks like on HSG. This is the bicornuate uterus. Here we have this cannula. This dye goes this way, and this way. So this both side of cornuas are seen. So this is bicornuate uterus. So this is how the uterus looks like actually, but we only can see is a cavity. This is the another tubes, both side tubes are there, and we can see the tube is filled. So tubes are open, but this is bicornuate uterus. There is a septate uterus, in which a deep septa is seen. See, this is a septate, this is a septum, this is actually the cannula here, and we can see this is basically the uterus, but this septum is there. That's why only both different cavities are seen, but actually this is only one single cavity, but the septum is still there. Bicornuate uterus is like this here. See, bicornuate uterus is like this, but septate uterus is like this. We have a septum inside that, but outside it is okay. If we see bicornuate uterus, we can see a pinch here also. Okay, so this is bicornuate uterus, this is septate uterus. Now the subseptate uterus, in which the all septum is not formed. So this is, my friends, is a subseptate uterus. This is a septum. The uterus is seen very good outside, but what we can see here is a septum. So this is the cavity we can see here. This is the septum. Another thing is arcuate uterus. Arcuate uterus, in which the fundus is not dome shaped. Okay, it looks like somehow this thing, flat. So this is the arcuate uterus, the flat structure. It should be actually like this, okay, but it's not seen this. That's why it is the arcuate uterus. Now these were about these pictures was about uterine anomalies, and then we can also identify any mass in the uterine cavity that is obstructing the cavity and pathway of the dye, that we can see. Either it can be an endometrial polyp, or it can be submucosal fibroid, or it can be a carcinoma. So there is a picture of endometrial polyp. Here you can see the filling defect. Filling defect is a very important. Here also the filling defect is seen. It is also fibroid, is a polyp. It can be fibroid, it can be polyp. This is a polyp. Here again filling defect is there. Here you can see, here is a fibroid. This is basically should be a fibroid because it originates from this particular wall, fundal wall. Submucosal fibroid it can be. Now the tubes, we can also examine the tube and it's part of obstruction, or either it can be hydrosalpinx, like that. See this video, in this image you can see a proximal tube blockage. The dye cannot pass from here forward because these are the tubes, but the dye cannot pass into the tubes. That means they are blocked. Bilateral tubal blockage. This is, you can see, unilateral tubal blockage. Here we cannot see any dye. Here there is a tube and it is free spillage and everything, but here nothing can be seen. So it is a unilateral blockage. How hydrosalpinx can be seen? These are the hydrosalpinx. Actually the hydrosalpinx seems like that. So this is the hydrosalpinx. So these are the very large swelling is there. There are both bilateral hydrosalpinx, right and left. So this is how we see the HSG. Thank you.